Hi there. Hey, this is my first vlog I'm shooting, trying to get better on screen, on camera. It is such an uncomfortable thing, and I realized that back in 2019 when COVID hit, and all my courses went online rather quickly, and I was having to make some of my first videos for the intros for my course, and I remember, oh my God, this is so hard, and I went through the whole, year doing online courses and streaming my course content and got fairly comfortable doing that, but trying to do canned YouTube intros and talks and subjects, it's murder. It's murder. I'm terrible at it. And it just really kind of points out to what degree I've always relied upon having that live audience and now trying to talk to a camera. So this is my first vlog. So that's really why I'm recording this, to send it out there into the YouTube environment so everybody can at least watch if they want to suffer through this video. I am trying to connect with my audience that I have managed to generate in 3.5 months. It's emerged. I can tell who my audience is, and it's very different from the 20-year-olds I typically teach up at the university. So my audience looks to be a more mature audience, and one of those that might be, midlife, looking at new things to do, new things to learn, maybe approaching retirement or even in retirement and wanting something to do other than to sit around and watch TV all the time or even play golf, which, that gets you outside at least, but you're still playing golf. Oh, I probably just pissed off some of my audience right there. So I am going to be doing tutorials for everybody who wants to learn how to watercolor, young or old, but definitely I'm interested in that age group where I'm at, and I think that's mainly what I see being reflected in my statistics on the videos I have posted so far. Now for me, I've started full-time watercolor, focusing on watercolor about 10 years ago. Yeah, I'd say 10 years ago. I've worked with wet media for a number of years, up to 35, 40 years. And that was designer's gouache, which is an opaque watercolor. And you can paint with designer's gouache just like you do an oil or an acrylic. The only difference being it doesn't dry into a permanent film. It's something that you can reactivate again. So you can paint just like an oil, just like an acrylic, and that's of course how most people, with the courses they're taught in college, maybe even high school, if that's the last time you had a high school course, that's typically what's taught. So when I was going through college, nobody taught watercolor, and I had to pick up wet media on my own pre-YouTube, and that was in itself an experience. So a lot of self-exploration, reading a lot of articles or even textbooks on watercolor to figure out how to watercolor. So it was a boon when YouTube came along and we started getting some really good content creators showing up on YouTube, showing people how to do watercolors. And that's kind of how I transitioned from learning gouache from articles and magazines, some books on watercolor, to maybe in a video or two on VHS. Man, I just dated myself. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I want to help anybody who is interested in learning watercolor through my channel, watching the things that I can hopefully teach you with the experience that I've gained over the 30 years of wet media and 10 years of watercolor specifically. I am a graphic designer. I teach at a state institution, a state university. I teach graphic design, 3D modeling, illustration, animation, foundation drawing, and I do teach watercolor courses to non-majors. So, like I said, my normal student age range is about 20-year-olds. So they do enjoy the watercolor course I teach. A lot of them are non-majors, and they're taking it as a creative credit that the university core allows. So they come in pretty dubious, but with a semester's worth of work, 15 weeks of intense tutorials and exercises and practice, they walk out really having a good understanding of watercolor. So, and that's hopefully what I'll be able to pass on to you as my viewers and my subscribers to my new channel. I'm thinking these vlogs, I'll try to post them frequently. I need to do more of them so I do get more comfortable being on screen and I'm not stumbling over my tongue so much. I'm going to keep them short, about 15 minutes. 10-15 minutes. I don't want to occupy too much of your time with my practice if you are going to be watching it. The only thing I'm asking that if you are watching this first video, let me know the specific things that you would like to know about watercolor. If I haven't covered it in my previous videos so far, I think I've got maybe 15 videos starting pretty simply. I'm starting out pretty simple with my own skill sets on the videos, mainly just I'm finding it's an interesting dynamic of I'm trying to create a good video for you to watch while also trying to create some decent artwork that you can see and follow the process along. So I'm keeping that fairly simple. I've learned that over the years. To learn something complex, you got to break it down into very manageable, very specific components and practice that. And that's really what I'm hoping to do with this vlog, and that's what I'm hoping to create with my tutorials and the little videos. And I'm experimenting right now. I am in neck deep in the experimenting stage of this endeavor that I'm trying to do. So, and you know, the motivation is not only just to help people who are interested in watercolors because it's so much fun. I mean, it's the easiest hard thing you're going to ever learn how to do. But it occupies your mind. It keeps you busy. It gives you something to look forward to, something to try every day, something to experiment, something to doodle. There's so many ways that watercolor will keep you active and mentally engaged. And that's one of the things, another one of the things, other than I'm approaching retirement myself. So I'm coming to the close of my educational career within a couple years, sometime within there, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? And I'm looking at that, and I asked myself that about 10 years ago, and that was the answer. I want a watercolor. I want to run around the country, run around the world, you know, go to places and create watercolors. And somehow, through some of my courses that I was teaching up at the university, I stumbled onto YouTube and the idea of becoming a content creator, and been researching and looking at that for a year or two. And I know I'm wandering a little bit. I have no script for this. This is totally off the cuff, and that's one of the other things I'm trying to practice as well, is get better at extemporaneous speaking and try to keep a thread flowing through whatever it is I'm talking about. So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. I was just hoping to give you a little bit of background about myself, why I'm doing it, and the frustrations and the things that I'm trying to learn to provide to you some decent instruction on the subject. So if you are looking to get started with video, you're feeling frustrated, my best tips for you are to just simply start simple, do the simple things, practice that until you understand the basic stages, the states of watercolor, and how you mix up the media and apply it to paper. So get your brushes out, turn on the YouTube, watch a couple of my channel videos, and start practicing. And just remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. It does take practice. It will take time. You know, there's thousands of tips out there. There's 1,000, like my first video said, 10,000 steps to learn how to draw and to paint with watercolor. And there are, and it's a matter of learning all of them and knowing when to employ them. So I'm back to rambling again, and I'm just going to cut it off at this point. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, watch my videos, tune in, give me some comments so I know what you guys are interested in doing, and I'll do it. I'll see you in the next video.